Out of all the episodes from Season 1, Swarm of the Century is the one that I remember the least. I remember that I had the Parasprites and Crazy Twilight, but that's about it. It's not that I didn't like it on my first viewing, it's just that the other episodes in this season seem to have overshadowed it in my mind. After rewatching the episode, I can say, without a doubt, that this episode is... alright. We begin with Fluttershy gathering... stuff when she comes across a small ball of adorableness. Since Fluttershy is Fluttershy, she takes the bug-like thing to her friends. Meanwhile, Spike is given only a fraction of the fate that he deserves, while Twilight checks up with the rest of Ponyville. Celeste is coming to town, so everything's gotta look perfect. She's checking up on food prep, and being depressed at how much of it is being ruined by Pinkie Pie when Fluttershy shows up. Fluttershy shows off the bug, which now has 2 different colored copies of itself. That's probably normal, nothing to look into here. Pinkie calls the bugs Parasprites, and runs off to find some instruments. Oh, Pinkie, you're so random. Twilight shows off her replacement with Rarity and Rainbow Dash, who are in the middle of trying to achieve the impossible, putting a dress on Rainbow Dash. Once again, the Parasprite has 2 colored copies with it when Twilight pulls it out of her mane. Are you sure you didn't feel anything move, Twilight? Anyway, Rainbow Dash and Rarity take a Parasprite, and Pinkie comes in looking for another instrument. That's so Pinkie. Twilight settles in for a good night's sleep as everything went right in Ponyville. Nothing bad happened. Man, that's great. It'd be awful if the something bad happened. Ah crap, something plot happened. Spike fed one of the Parasprites in the middle of the night, spawning way too many Parasprites than one could feasibly handle. Twilight's not sure what to do, so she runs off to find her friends for help. It turns out that Rainbow Dash, Rarity, and Fluttershy are also having some trubs. In a desperate attempt to include Applejack, the main 6 minus Pinkie Pie herd the Parasprites into a giant ball and roll it into the Everfree Forest. Somehow. Well, Pinkie actually does show up, but she's still searching for those instruments. Classic Pinkie, am I right, fellas? With all the Parasprites in the Everfree Forest, all's good in Ponyville. That is, until hundreds of Parasprites pour out of Fluttershy's cottage and head towards Ponyville's town center. Fluttershy kept just one because it's just too cute. Instead of redoing the whole roll the flying creatures up into a ball strat, Rainbow Dash just creates a tornado. The Parasprites are sucked into the tornado, and it seems to be working for a while, until Pinkie Pie ruins it. You did it, punk. As expected, Ponyville is in complete and utter havoc from the Parasprites eating everything. Twilight casts a spell so that the Parasprites stop eating food, and then they start eating everything that isn't food. You did it, Twi. It's because of you that the Parasprites are now in your library eating the words from your books? Okay, then. Twilight sees Celeste approaching, and all hope is lost. But lo! A heavenly chorus is heard, and Pinkie manages to become a one-man marching band. Feeling the righteous beat, the Parasprites follow Pinkie and happily hop into the Everfree Forest. Celeste interprets this as a welcoming parade, and sets off for another place to deal with an infestation. When the main 6 minus the Ponk confront Pinkie, they're surprised that Pinkie actually knew the solution all along. They would have helped her with finding instruments if only they had listened to Pinkie. But wait. Did she really try to explain this situation? Every time the main 6 asked Pinkie why she was seeking out the various instruments, she never told them. There were several situations where she could have just told the others what she was up to, but just didn't. Instead, she would just get mad at her friends for not helping her out and then just run off. F for effort, Pinkie. You didn't do it. In the end, though, this episode is still just fine. The first time watching it was entertaining, as I found all the Parasprite scenes hilarious. And Celeste being dumbstruck at the parade of Parasprites is simply amazing. The plot was just fine the first time as well, but the second time it really bugged me with the whole Pinkie Pie not telling the others what she's doing despite all the chances she has. I understand the moral they're trying to go for, but if they had the other main 6 actually ignore Pinkie Pie after telling her what she's trying to do, I feel like the moral would have worked better with the plot. At the end of the day though, it's horses dealing with cute balls made of Satan, so it's all fine. That's all I have to say about Swarm of the Century. Until next time, goodbye.